everyone, I'm sorry for the delay of this video. I'm using my laptop because I think it broke to the camera, but I spend my money on everything. But yeah, I'm gonna make this anyway because I feel like I don't know. So the topic of this video is alternative high schools and what I think about it, how it went when I went to one. I'm gonna turn the slide off, I think it looks weird. So yeah, I went to one for almost 3 years, 2.5 years, something like that, like a month into my freshman year until like January of my junior year. I went to one, and I started going to it's a charter school. The one I went to is a charter school, and I started going there because I was not comfortable in a huge school. It was terrifying. People hated me because I've been going to school with the same people since preschool. So once you start something bad there, it's gonna stick with you until you graduate. So anyway, I still have some lipstick on my hand. Anyway, when I first started going there, it was great. Like, everyone knew each other. Everyone, like, was friendly. Everyone was accepting. Well, almost everyone. There was this one girl who, she was scary. But, yeah, I just really liked it. It was great. I actually liked going to school for once. But, yeah, once I started my junior year, I started to not like it as much because when I first started there was a lot of people like me, like people who just did not fit in to the normal school. And then more and more people, there was a small group of people when I first started there who were there because they were either expelled or they just wanted to get away with doing nothing all day. And those people, they attracted more and more of those people. And pretty soon, by the time I left, like 90% of the school was losers. The school GPA was like, I don't know, 39% or something. It was terrible. Everything was chaotic. I wasn't learning anything past my freshman year. I probably didn't learn a thing. I went like almost 2 years pretty much doing nothing because everything went so slow. Like, if you're gonna go to a school like that, you need to keep in mind that things go a lot slower than in regular school. So if you don't need that, if you move quickly, if you get everything done, you're gonna be bored a lot. At least I was. People who go to that school that I went to and get their stuff done, they have the same problem because they move slow to keep up with the people who can't keep up with it, which is right for those people. But like, when it comes to people who are there because of other reasons other than academic reasons, it's kind of complicated because you don't know where to go. You can't go to regular school because it's too, like, huge. You can't go to that school because you're not learning anything. So eventually, like, you have to choose if you care more about your education or you care more about, like, socialization, I guess. And yeah, I liked it there for a while. We got 45 minutes for lunch. We just got to go out into the town around there. Was like Target and Culver's and a whole bunch of stores we could walk to, and that was fun at first. And then people would always get in trouble for smoking. outside of a children's hospital, not hospital, it was a, what do they call it, pediatric clinic. They were always outside smoking. We would always get yelled at as a whole school for smoking, and I was like, I'm not smoking. I don't know why you're yelling at me. And eventually I just started to do really bad because everything went so slow, and I wouldn't do it because I was like, okay, we have like 3 weeks to work on this, finding references for a paper, and I was like, oh, just sitting there on Tumblr or something all day, and then when they'd see you on something that wasn't work, they'd be like, what the hell are you doing? Like, I'm done with everything. I'm bored. Duh. But yeah, if you need extra help with schoolwork and stuff, it would be a really good idea for you. Just make sure you go to a place that doesn't have those kind of people, like the druggies. And so before I started going there, I honestly did not even know what weed was. I didn't know what drugs were. I knew what they were, but I didn't know what they did. I didn't know what they looked like, what they smelled like, any of that. And then, like, a week into being there, I knew everything about drugs. It was kind of scary. And I had started smoking pot, not cigarettes. Cigarettes are gross, anyway. But I had started only for a few months because my mom caught me. I got in huge trouble, and she was like, oh my god, you're gonna move schools, we're gonna make you move schools. I was like, no, because I didn't know where else to go. Like, at the time, I would not be able to handle being in regular school, but I also couldn't handle being homeschooled because I needed the friends, people to be around, or else, like, at that time, I needed people to be around. Now, not so much, as long as I have, like, one person, a dog, I'll be fine. But then I needed people there almost constantly, or else I would get really sad, really lonely, I would not feel right. And yeah, that's what happened with that. As for class sizes, it could be anywhere from 3 to 25 people in a class. It would change all the time. Certain days people would never show up. Certain days it'd be packed. It just depended on the day. But again, I don't know about other schools. This is just the one that I went to. Education-wise, again, I did not learn anything past 9th grade because it was all the same things over and over. There was 4 or 5 teachers, and you got the same teacher every year. I think they were just teaching the same thing over and over. No matter how many grade levels you went up, it was the same thing. That's probably why I didn't learn anything past 9th grade. And yeah, the only class that really benefited me was math because I'm terrible at math. Like, and that helped me a lot being there because you can ask for a lot more help easier because there's not as many people. They can actually pay attention to you. They actually know who you are, which was a good thing. And if you're thinking about going to a charter school, another, like a smaller school, anything like that, just know that it is very different depending on which one you go to. At mine, there was a lot more freedom than at a regular school. You could honestly, like, leave in the middle of the day. Nobody would say anything, but, like, every once in a while they would notice, and I was like, oh. I was gone for a whole week, and you didn't say anything, and then now gone 1 hour, and you're like freaking out. I don't know, very disorganized. The one I was at, the people were not the best. At least the last year I was there. I don't know if this video was even helpful at all, but yeah, it can be good and it can be really bad, but if you are like literally mentally unstable from going to a huge school, then it is a good idea. You just have to make sure to find the right people to hang out with, and you have to tolerate the crazies, and if you can't, then I guess you'll just either have to wait it out, or you can just leave and do like online school or something, but um, just know that doing an alternative school can have a lot of bad things about it. That's kind of how they get their bad reputation. I didn't realize it when I first started going there, but it's like now, okay, most of these kids are losers. I'm not saying that about everyone, but the majority of my school, all the times we've gotten together with other schools, all the kids were just you. Anyway, that was my experience there. That was all the information I can really give you. The pros to it are it's smaller, it's easier to like not freak out, but at the same time, it's chaotic depending on which school you go to, how organized they are, how well they discipline the freaking out children, the amount of time that kids in there have freaked out over stupid things. Like they would get their phone taken and just flip out. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen this in a school, but the kids would start yelling, swearing, slamming doors, some occasionally throwing things. It was pretty violent. So yeah, after a while I got used to it, but then I was like, okay, this is annoying. I gotta go. So yeah, if you have any questions, you can just like comment or something. I don't even know if anyone's gonna watch this. I'm very